Welcome to the University of Iowa Dental Commencement. This is a proud day for all who have made this event possible. It's a proud day for families, friends, faculty, and staff, but most importantly for our graduates. These graduates have shown commitment, talent, perseverance, and character to earn the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery. Effort and sacrifice have also been made by many others in sharing the success of our graduates. Commencement is both a joyous and a solemn occasion. We will begin on a joyous note by asking how many in the audience think they are the proudest person in the room for their graduate. I think we have a tie. Okay. Now, let's recognize the families and friends of our graduates, starting with the grandparents. Would the grandparents please stand and be recognized? The grandparents, please. There we go. Next, we will recognize the parents. Would the parents please stand and be recognized? Next, we also recognize those who received the DDS, or Devoted Dental Spouse, today. Special friends, family, and as many of our graduates have children, we want to be sure to recognize them. So would the spouses, special friends, family, and children please stand or be raised and recognized? Without our outstanding staff, we would have no programs. Let's recognize this great staff, many of whom are in the back. Would the staff please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Our faculty is among the very finest in the world. They have provided the teaching and mentoring for our new doctors. Let's recognize this great faculty. Please stand. Yeah. We are honored and delighted to have President Sally Mason participate in our commencement. President Mason will confer the degrees on our candidates and will be available for a while at the reception. Two procedural matters. We welcome the taking of photos. I will ask you to wait until the time approaches for your graduate to cross the stage and then come forward. We do have a professional photographer taking a picture of each graduate, so do not panic if your flash fails. At the end of the ceremony, please be seated until the procession has exited. We hope you'll stay for the reception to meet the College of Dentistry faculty and staff. And now it's just a great honor to hear from the 20th President of the University of Iowa, President Sally Mason. I just want to say what an inspiration she has been to our university and certainly to me, and really a friend to the College of Dentistry. So President Sally Mason. President Mason.
Well, thank you, Dean Johnson, and let me start by saying welcome to the graduates, to my faculty and staff colleagues, to other University of Iowa students, to family and friends, and to honored guests. Thank you all for being here this evening. It is my great pleasure to share with you this once-in-a-lifetime occasion and extend to you official greetings from your university, the University of Iowa. Any commencement in higher education is a time to celebrate the fulfillment of dreams, a fulfillment based on discipline and hard work. No one knows that better than all of you. I know that as dentistry students, you've made enormous sacrifices in many ways to pursue your dreams. But we also know that many people have made this day possible, and we had a chance just a few moments ago to recognize some of those people. I know that they're very special to each and every one of you, and they're very special to us as well. You could not have pursued those dreams without the support, the encouragement, and the sacrifices of your teachers, your mentors, your friends, your family, and other loved ones. They are equally part of today's new beginnings, and we are all very, very grateful to them. Now, commencements are times of reflection as well as looking ahead. No doubt, many of you today are reflecting on how far you've come to get here today. The national stature of our college is impressive, and it adds tremendous value to your degree. Yet, in many ways, I'm most proud of how the College of Dentistry serves the state of Iowa in exemplary ways. The college is a campus leader in outreach to Iowans with such programs as the Geriatric Mobile Dental Unit and the Muscatine Pediatric Dental Clinic for low-income families. And the college continues to reach out across the state with new programs. The 2-year-old project SEALED is a wonderful way to bring dental care to 700 school children in Allamakee County, one of Iowa's most ethnically diverse counties with an underserved rural population. And at the same time, this initiative offers tremendous field experience to you, our dental students. Now, your own future practices are probably the greatest contributions that we make to the well-being of Iowans. We can brag about an astonishing statistic. 80% of Iowa's dentists have been trained right here at the University of Iowa. 98% of Iowans are within a 30-minute drive of a UI College of Dentistry practicing alumnus or alumna. And for those of you who are going on to practice in other states or perhaps even other countries, and to those of you who are embarking on other professional ventures such as research or perhaps something else entirely, we are proud that you will bring the excellence of the University of Iowa in whatever form you choose to the nation and the world. We will be proud of you in your future careers. But right now, we are proud of you today. Absolutely, at this very moment. So I thank you for contributing to the excellence of the University of Iowa during your time here as a student. And even though the years ahead promise major changes for you, please know that the University of Iowa and the College of Dentistry will always welcome you home. You will always be Hawkeyes. As alumna, you are indelibly part of who we are, who we have been, and whom we will become. So congratulations and best wishes for a life and career full of success, service, accomplishment, and most of all, happiness. Thank you.
President Mason, Dean Johnson, Dean Solo, Dean Schneider, Dr. Gomez, faculty, staff, fellow students, and guests. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for 4 long years. And I was really banking on a group of like 300, so sorry about that. If everyone could find their closest fire exit, I think we're pretty close to capacity. So I have to say, Dean Solo told me early in the year that I would have to give the graduation speech, and at first I thought it would be no problem. I gave quite a few speeches in high school, and those went well. Granted, they were about mobsters and how to make chocolate chip cookies from scratch, which I still can't do. But this couldn't possibly be that different from those. However, I soon remembered that I don't exactly handle emotional extremes well, and when I'm really happy or really sad, I'm in tears, and when I'm startled, I just hit the floor. So you guys are blessed to have me up here today on a day full of emotional extremes, so I'm going to try my best not to cry and to stay upright. So, and I was also given the classic advice of imagining everyone in their underwear, but since we have all been through changing for anatomy lab and seen that, it's really ineffective right now. So, here we go. In all honesty, I couldn't be happier today. While it's taken forever to get here, I have thoroughly enjoyed the ride with all of you. I feel like we've become a family full of love and dysfunction, where each person has their own special role. We would all probably still be back in D2 year if Katie Neighborhouse wouldn't have kept us all organized with notes and calendars. None of us would be at high risk for diabetes if it weren't for Kaylee Canteris' cupcakes. Jessica Wilkie has serenaded us, Christina Kilberg has kept us in shape, and Brad Camp has kept us laughing. Brandon Rook has kept our class out of debt. Jonathan Meyer has ensured that we all remain decent human beings. and Abby Otto has kept us all friends. Katie Connell has kept us all up to date with the newest rap music, and Laura Edwards and Heather Stillman have done the very same, but for country. Lauren Jensen has continually improved our apparently shoddy vocabularies, and Nick Brammer and Levi Zarbano have provided us with graphic and incredibly detailed Snapchats that will scar our minds forever. Katrina Mosley has given us advice that we could literally only ever get from Katrina Mosley. Diana Pelzer and Kai Wang have amazed us with their dance skills on the stage, and Jeff Goodrich has impressed us with his own original genre of dance at DC's The Fieldhouse in Beau James. Without Christina Schultz and baby Gavin, none of us would have ever devised a birth plan for Chair 44, which mostly consisted of panicking and calling 911 for the hospital immediately next door to us. Chong Shao and Tomi Ojele have kept us waiting for class to start, and Kara Nicholson and Katie Amfinson made us question our own sense of time by leaving at 3 instead of 4 every day. Jenna Hopkins and Prim have reminded us that cats are just as much a part of our family as humans are, and her cat birthday party reminded most of us that we are not, in fact, capable of partying like we're 20 years old anymore. Chad Waltz has left us wondering why everyone can't have a Ducati, and Ian Bell and his hand-drawn maps have left us completely lost, wondering exactly how to get to his place of residence and how Brad's car manages to be as big as a home itself. Dan Garman has kept us on our toes with his blood sugar levels, and Courtney Cloverdance has kept us all guessing what exactly is in the concoction she is eating for lunch. We've had babies, brides, and beers, tears, toddlers, and tequila, not necessarily in that order, but throughout it all, we've had love, laughter, lessons learned, and lingualized setups. Never in my life will I forget Katrina raising her hand when a guest speaker asked if anyone had children. And after we all tried to get her to put her hand down, she responded loudly with, "You don't know my life." And just to let you all know, I do know Katrina's life well enough to say she is not a mom. Dan Branson's perfectly timed spoiler alert announcement during the Perfect Storm lecture will stick with me forever. It's going to be really hard to have to pay attention in life without Eric Barnes there to constantly ask repeats of questions that were asked a mere 2 minutes before. I think we're all permanently haunted by those fateful words said so many times on Injection Day. Just give it a try and we'll see what happens. But, lest we forget, we definitely would have still been sitting in the physiology classroom D1 year, waiting for the internet to reboot, if it weren't for Ames Cross, basically threatening to jump from the balcony and get Dr. Shibata. While we all have a love-hate relationship with dental school, many of us have found the loves of our lives during the past 4 years. Mike Malhoff and Tal Q found each other. Jairus Houston found music video production. Sarah Reinhart found periodontics. Zach Steckline found Jeff Goodrich, Levi Zarbano, and Connor Elmett. And I found the Gray's lunch buffet with a pink lemonade martini. In all reality, though, that part of each of us that does love this place, no matter how small it may be, is equally divided by 5 incredible professors: Dr. Clancy, Dr. Gomez, Dr. Hopper, Dr. Huber, and the late, great Dr. Finkelstein. Now, I know you're all thinking, you forgot Steve. How could you seriously forget Steve? But I didn't, because Steve has earned his own chamber of each of our hearts. As we spent the past 4 years becoming our own big family, we can't forget about the incredible family and friends who have stood by us throughout this journey, many of whom are here today. Let's be real, we have probably been far from fun to deal with through this time. I'm sure each and every one of you out here today has heard the request of "just kill me" come from the mouth of your respective dental student. They may have blamed you for getting them here today, asked if they were under the influence or the victim of a recent head trauma when they decided that dental school was a really good idea. And I know that many of you have received midnight phone calls from crying students, and you've talked them down off a ledge due to occlusion without actually knowing what occlusion is. We didn't either at that time, by the way. Know that you aren't alone. Everyone here has been through it, and we probably should have formed a support group for you all years ago. There aren't enough words to thank you for being there for us along the way, and even though we may not always show it, we really appreciate you for standing by us. And quickly, while we're on the topic of family, I'd like to give a little shout out because today is actually my parents' 33rd wedding anniversary. So if I could get a little round of applause. And they told me if they mentioned me, there would be consequences. So I think you all just witnessed the moment that I became financially independent. So. I have to say that I try to live my life without regrets, and I've approached dental school in the very same way. However, this year, I've been faced with the fact that I've messed up many times over the past 4 years because I never bothered learning the alternate pronunciations of a lot of my classmates' names. Even worse, I didn't learn them from the individuals themselves, but rather from a voice over the intercom as they were called to oral surgery. So I'd like to take a few moments here to apologize just to some of you. Joel Weiler, I did not know that your name is actually pronounced Joel Wheeler. Abby Otto, I'm not sure that even Kelly knows your last name is pronounced Otto. Jarius Houston, I don't know whether or not to call you Jarius, Jairus, Jarvis, or Jarrett Houston. Katie Cook, you may think that your last name is a very common word, but it turns out we can also call you Katie Kook. Enrique Darencu, you apparently now go by Enrique Durancow. Allison Segrist, none of us knew that you were apparently hiding the fact that you're a member of the Seacrest family, so tell Ryan hello. Tao Q, I learned so much about you the day that I heard you also go by Mr. Teho Q. And finally, Jessatomi Ojale. I know that none of us actually know how to pronounce your name, and I apologize for that, but I had no clue that two legitimate options were Jaswatami Objalela or Jasutami Ojalale. In all seriousness, though, the day I found out I was giving this speech was the day of the series finale of The Office, which happens to be one of my favorite shows ever. Towards the end of the show, they start showing flashbacks of Andy Bernard throughout the series, and it cuts to an individual interview with him in which he states, "I wish there was a way to know you are in the good old days when you're actually in them." This quote hit me hard because then I realized that dental school was the good old days. Yes, some of them were terrible, and I had a minute-by-minute countdown until it was time to go home, but other days I just didn't want to end. During the past 4 years, you've had your first experience of literally giving someone their smile back. You've taken people out of pain for the first time ever. You've befriended people you would have never met and bonded with strangers over multiple appointments in which your patient couldn't even talk to you for 2.5 of the 3 hours. Look around. Some of the absolute best friends you've probably made in life are in this room. The people who have seen you at your absolute highs and lows are here. These are the people that you can ask anything, whether it relates to dentistry or not. They've been a shoulder to cry on, a person to cheers, a secret keeper, a partner in crime, a church friend, a workout buddy. From here on out, we're on our own, depending on random texts and phone calls to keep in touch instead of a simple walk down the hallway. The good old days of late night bonding in the lab, FAC, tailgating, birthday dinners, bachelor parties, and girls' nights are over, and I hope you enjoyed them as much as I have. I asked the wisest woman that I know what the best advice was that she would like me to pass on to all of you. That woman, contrary to what you all may be thinking right now, is my 95-year-old grandmother, and not Dr. Arnold. And she told me, always stay interested in something. I thought this was perfect. We've given up 4 years of the real world and focused all of our attention on dentistry, and now we can finally branch out and find other things that we're interested in. So it's time to take full advantage of that. just in time for us to never get to participate in another school talent show again. In conclusion, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for making the past 4 years some of the greatest of my life, and for letting me serve as your president for the past 2 years. Thank you to Ashlyn Whetstone for helping me tie our neighbor's cat to the door so it wouldn't run away. Thank you to Lauren Harvey for skipping out on lab duty with the terrible excuse of, I was getting engaged. Thank you to the other 4 Katies in the class for training me to only respond to my name 20% of the time, and only 10% when neighbor house is around and the question's really hard. Thank you to Ian Bell for showing each of us the ridiculous phases of growing a beard. Thank you to Dr. Spector for teaching our small group how to use nunchucks. Thank you to Dr. Wong for teaching each of us the importance of getting paid. Thank you to Dr. Hoffman for leaving absolutely no question go unanswered during anatomy, even if the answer made some of us nauseous. Thank you to Dispensary Cindy for all of the candy and fun, and thank you, Jacob Hopper, for celebrating being done with boards by napping on a bench outside of the school. I love you all, and doctors, I can't wait to see you again.
Good evening and congratulations. The Alpha Omega Award is presented each year to the graduating senior student who has achieved the highest grade point average in their class at the completion of the dental degree program. It is a privilege and pleasure for me to name at this time the 2014 recipient of the Alpha Omega Award, Amber McCarville. Amber, would you please come forward and be recognized?
Good evening. Omicron Kappa Epsilon is the National Dental Honor Society established at Northwestern University in 1914. Our MU chapter was organized at the University of Iowa in 1923. We elect students to membership in the society on the basis of scholarship, exemplary traits, character, and potential qualities of future professional growth and attainment. Therefore, on behalf of the OKU members of our chapter, I take great pleasure in welcoming and recognizing our new members. Will the Omicron Kappa Epsilon honorees please rise and come to stage?
Janet Boys. David Gugliano. Lauren Harvey. Amber McCarville. Katie Neighborhouse. Sarah Reinhardt. Christina Schultz. Ashley Brooke Sundstrom. Jessica Wilkie. I'd like to direct your attention to pages 4 through 8 of your commencement program, where you can see a number of students who have received honors and awards. We certainly are grateful to all of our donors who have made these awards possible. This year we also have the honor of presenting 2 groups of students who are graduating with distinction. The Graduation with Distinction in Dental Public Health is awarded to students for exemplary efforts to advance their knowledge and practice of dental public health. Seniors who have shown sustained involvement and commitment to both advanced academic achievement in dental public health and service to the public during their years in dental school, as determined by a panel of faculty, are chosen for this recognition. And this is our first cohort of students to graduate with this distinction. I'd ask each of the students to stand as in your place as your name is read, and if we could save applause until the end of the list, please. Ian Bell, Daniel Branson, Catherine Cook, Ashley Brooke Sundstrom, Jessica Grabowski, Jenna Hopkins, Paul O'Kane, Eric Pop, Christina Schiltz, Justine Stemper, Chad Waltz, Levi Zarbano. Congratulations. We also have students who have distinguished themselves in the research arena. These students are receiving Research Achievement Awards, and the awards recognize exemplary contributions to dental research. Graduating seniors who have shown substantial and sustained involvement in productive research during their years in dental school, as determined by a panel of faculty, staff, and students. Again, as your name is called, please stand and we'll save applause till the end. Lauren Harvey, Tao Q, Christina Schiltz, Chong Shao, Eric Pop. Congratulations. On page 9 of your program, please note the number of graduate students and other students completing certificate specialty programs. Our congratulations to them as well.
President Mason, these candidates, having completed all the requirements for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery, are recommended to you by the faculty of the College of Dentistry for the conferring of these degrees.
Thank you, Dean Johnson. On recommendation of the faculty of the College of Dentistry and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery as qualified and designated. Congratulations, you did it.
You have completed a rigorous course of study and are ready to enter the profession of dentistry. The high honor of the degree Doctor has been rightly earned. You carry a rich tradition from your profession and from your university. You also carry 2 responsibilities: the individual responsibility to work for the oral health of your patients and the collective responsibility to work for the oral health of the public. I charge you to carry this heritage and responsibility with integrity and diligence. With this responsibility, you have also developed the skills and the perspectives to achieve much fulfillment. I wish you success in your personal and professional lives. You have the tools to begin this journey. I also hope that each day you will take a moment to enjoy the things in your lives that mean the most to you. I'd like to tell you how much the faculty and staff have enjoyed your class. We've tried to give you roots and wings. The roots are made up of professional fundamentals as well as an attachment to your profession and to the University of Iowa. The wings are made up of your abilities to take initiatives, to adapt to new situations, and to be a professional role model. This is your last time together as a class. You are now alumni of one of the finest colleges of dentistry in the world, and you will never have to explain your DDS degree anywhere in the world. It will speak for itself. We hope you'll return to visit classmates and renew this unique time every 5 years at your reunion. Yours will be in 2019. The time will pass quickly, so please keep in touch. And now, will the first row of candidates come to the stage for the hooding ceremony?
Again, we'd ask you to wait until all names have been called for your applause. Gives me great pleasure. Dr. Katie Elizabeth Nagel. Dr. Janet Lynn Boys. Dr. David Patrick Gugliano. Dr. Lauren Elizabeth Harvey. Dr. Amber Lynn McCarville. Dr. Katie Lynn Neighborhouse. Dr. Sarah Ann Reinhardt. Dr. Christina Marie Schultz. Dr. Ashley Brooke Deemer Sundstrom. Dr. Jessica Marie Wilkie. Dr. Katie Marie Anfinson. Dr. Eric Curry Barnes. Dr. Ian Edward Bell. Dr. Chad Stephen Bodley. Dr. Nicholas James Brammer. Dr. Daniel Roger Branson. Dr. Vincent Walter Burhop. Dr. Bradley James Camp. Dr. Matthew Joseph Cohen. Dr. Catherine Rose Connell. Dr. Catherine Marie Cook. Dr. Ames Carl Cross. Dr. Enrique Derencu. Dr. Laura Catherine Edwards. Dr. Connor George Elmet. Dr. Stacy Sue Fries. Dr. Myra Galarza. Dr. Daniel Ryan Garman. Dr. Jeffrey Ayers Goodrich. Dr. Jessica Jill Grabowski. Dr. Andrew Heinisch. Dr. Daniel Joseph Henrich. Dr. Jenna Marie Hopkins. Dr. Jacob Leo Hopper. Dr. Jairus Clyde Houston. Dr. Alicia Jolyn James. Dr. Crystal Nicole James. Dr. Lauren Elizabeth Jensen. Dr. Douglas Eric Johnson. Dr. Kaylee Marie Cantaris. Dr. Jonathan Jeffrey Karch. Dr. Tao Nu Q. Dr. Christina Ida Carmela Vigliotti Kilberg. Dr. Samuel Kim. Dr. Courtney Joe Cloberdance. Dr. Michael David Lowe. Dr. Michael Allen Melhoff. Dr. Jonathan Richard Meyer. Dr. Brian James Miller. Dr. Katrina Eloise Mosley. Dr. Kira Lynn Nicholson. Dr. Jessutomi Mercy Ojale. Dr. Paul Francis O'Kane. Dr. Kara Lynn Opheim. Dr. Abby Jo Bagenstos Otto. Dr. Diana Michelle Pelzer. Dr. Eric Thomas Pop. Dr. Lacey Luina Ronda. Dr. Brandon Wesley Rook. Dr. Alan Christopher Rubach. Dr. Tyler John Schultze. Dr. Chong Shao. Dr. Allison Dawn Segrist. Dr. Matthew Lott Smith. Dr. Eric James Spurgeon. Dr. Jessica Lauren Stark. Dr. Zachary John Steckline. Dr. Justine Carol Stemper. Dr. Heather Maureen Stillman. Dr. Candy Lynn Thomas. Dr. Chad Michael Waltz. Dr. Joel Allen Weiler. Dr. Ashlyn Suzanne Whetstone. Dr. Levi Zarbano. Congratulations, class of 2014!